Yeah.
Welcome back to the I'm Not a Hater podcast featuring me, Mr. Brown, your favorite not hater. Today, once again, I got a special guest with me. Positive brother doing good things in the community. Community activist, Pastor Floyd Johnson is here once again. Pastor Floyd Johnson is here to tell his story. We got some questions for him this time, and we're gonna get right into it. So, Pastor Floyd, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
and I just want to know, like, what's some of the issues that you've been dealing with while, doing your community activism in the city of Hartford?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me back, big brother. It's always a welcome to be on your I'm Not a Hater podcast. And the things that we're dealing with right now is people being not able to find a place to stay. It's been homeless. It's been up on the chart that we've been dealing with. We have some people that's living in apartments that's is not legally supposed to be there. And we have a problem with hoarders that's taking over and trying to stay warm and don't have a place to go. We're trying to see if shelters are open and shelters are full. We don't have enough shelters here to put these people up. We also been dealing with a lot of violence in the city of Hartford. As you know, that's the number one chart right now. And, I have a youth program called Tapping the Violence Youth Program where I've been trying to get the city to understand that we need space to utilize this program as we talked about before on your podcast. And it seems like they holding it up and they making excuses. And we can't get permanent place, but we did ask them for a temporary place in a meeting. And they said they would do it, but they never did it. So right now, we at a standstill with the Tapping the Violence Youth Program. What we know that can be done in this program to help these youth stay off the streets and not to pick up guns and not to sell drugs. This program has been A1 in the city of Hartford before. When I was in Middletown, we offered it to them, and they was excited about the program, but they put it on a standstill as the same as Hartford did.
Okay. So with that, what you have in the program, Tapping the Violence Youth Program, how do you feel that your program could be useful in the city of Hartford?
Well, first of all, we know that these young kids today doesn't really have no respect for no one. And that could come from home and start from home. As a parent could be single and trying to raise kids is a difficult issue with not both of the parents being utilized in the household. And we feel that our program, as far as helping them set goals, will be a great thing for them to look at and to build a career off of it. And we also got some activities that we utilize in our program, basketball tournaments, football. We try to let the kids pick and choose their goals and not us. And once we get them going, if it's got employment involved, we use that to, that's a big issue. So we try to use that to put some funding in their pocket. We do have some resources with that, and we utilize that to help them build a more curricular career. We also got bully prevention. Some kids are being, bullied as not physically but mentally, and we try to help them to understand what bullying is about. We also have in our program other anger management classes that we feel that if kids need to be able to control their anger so they won't get in trouble, because that could be a big issue with a youth. He has anger. I know I did when I was growing up, and anger management helped me a lot, even though I took it 3 or 4 times. But them classes are very important, especially when the youth have some anger issues. We also have a life skill decision program that we deal with kids of building their education up and helping them pursue college. We did put 2 kids in college, and one of them was looking at the NFL football. Um, we try to help them the best we can. We don't leave no child behind. Uh, we always try to check up on them once they graduate from the program to make sure that they're doing the right thing and staying in school or staying in college. We don't want no one to step out of bounds and start doing the things that they used to don't do or try to do and mess up their career.
All right. So that sounds like a good program, man. I hope that, the city can ultimately one day, find room for that program to come back because I know it was in the city before. Um, but hoping and praying that that happens. Um, so I know you've been working with Spring Grove. It made the news. Spring Grove Cemetery, that is. It made the news. What's the latest update with Spring Grove? What's going on with that? As far as what's happening right now.
Well, brother Kenny, I'm gonna tell you, big bro, it's a big issue that we're dealing with right now. It's a lot of conflicts between the manager and the overseer. Uh, we just right now, it's hard for us to get some type of funding. We didn't go to the city about the funding this time because what happened with them, it was a difficult task that they supposed to took on, and they bidded the money out 130,000 that went disappeared to me. Whoever got the money didn't do a great job at all, because if they did, I wouldn't be getting the numerous. I'm not going to say numerous. I'm going to say many complaints that's going on right now, where we try to deal with the manager and had a contract that we wanted him to look at, and also um, state Mary Kong wanted an outsider account in this matter, and he refused to talk to us about it. He wanted to talk to the account on his own, which we felt was not for him to do at this time, because we didn't hire the accountant. We just, well, me personally had a talk with him. So as of right now, I went to the senators about it, and we had a discussion, and we was supposed to get a certain amount of money put in, and it was some papers that supposed to be filled out, and I'm not going to be responsible for that right now because of the issue that we have with the manager that not wanted to comply as we go along with this contract. So at this time, I went back to the senators and I asked them for emergency funding, which right now they are working on it. Hopefully, we will get something, because we need something done. I'm tired of talking. I want action, and that's what I'm about, action. And as we continue to keep talking, it continue to like get cold, winter coming, where we can't be able to do nothing, and the whole thing will be on hold, which I don't want this to happen. So I'm trying to get the senator to really recognize that, this cemetery is disgusting. You got people that can't even get to their loved ones, can't even find where they at. We got possums running around the whole grave cemetery with on people's graves, and I mean it's just a mess. We got garbage everywhere. We got people sleeping in the cemetery like it's a hotel. We found a couple of needles that was out there that shouldn't have been out there. People just doing anything they want. And I feel like the people that's buried there and then the loved ones is being disrespected all the way around the board, which I'm really feeling some type of way about this whole situation. I mean, my mom's in there. I can't even find my oldest brother. I know where he at, but it's nothing there to find out if he really there or not. And my aunt is across from my mom's, and it's just a shame that this has have to go on. And then we got the news people even said it when they interviewed me. They said, man, this place look like ghost town. And when we did a history on it, I didn't find out that 350 soldiers was back there at that time. And as we looked at this whole matter, we just felt that things wasn't right, and we felt that something had to be done in order for this to be a difficult situation that need to be ironed out. So that's where we at with that. You might have to open that door. Pause it for a minute.
All right. So you were just mentioning about Spring Grove Cemetery, um, and the funding. Were you able to get people on board with your project for that?
Well, what we did was, brother Kenny, we had to form a board where now that we have three people on the board, me, myself, and two other people. Whatever funding that we get, we will have to make a decision how we will use this money towards Spring Grove Cemetery. This money is going nowhere else but to the Spring Grove Cemetery where it's supposed to go. And what we doing now, we just waiting, and we still got the petition going around, people signing it because they feel like something need to be done. All this time, nothing hasn't been done. Now it's time to take action so something can be done. And I think that we going in the right direction. And I'm asking you people, please, if you can support us, be behind us, because we need support when we do move forward with as far as cleaning the cemetery up. We're going to start from the back, not the front, not the middle, but we're going in the back, because I didn't realize that it was 200 and 300 rather. They said 350 soldiers are buried back there. Oh my God. And not only that, the soldiers, we have the first black firefighter that in the country. And we have also a founder for the deaf that's laying to rest back there, and also a famous painter. So I didn't realize that this cemetery got history. So with respect for everyone that's laid to rest in there, we have to do something, because we still have people coming to visit their loved ones. And seeing this cemetery like this is a shame.
So just what he just said, right? That's an important point. There's people who have loved ones there. Like he said, you got a lot of famous people that have been buried there. That instrumental in the city and the beginnings of Hartford as a city. So it's a passionate plea to clean up this cemetery. He's going to need volunteers. He's going to need businesses. If you know somebody who can make donations, again, please help out where you can, because we want to make sure that this cemetery is cleaned up, not only for the people that have passed on, but the family members and the residents of Hartford who frequent this cemetery at a high rate. We want to be able to have a nice place for them to want to bury their loved ones and keep that tradition going. All right. So, Brother Floyd, you are a very dedicated person in this city. You have been instrumental in helping the youth and other programs. Why the dedication though to Hartford? Because you can be a community activist anywhere in the world, but why Hartford? Why did you choose the city of Hartford to do that?
Well, first of all, Big Brother, I just want people to recognize I grew up in the city of Hartford, Stowe Village. I was born and raised in the city of Hartford. I moved into Stowe Village when I was 4 years old, 1964. And what back then was a great adventure, as I can say, because we never have any type of situations that serious like we do now. And I take pride in where I lived at. It was a low income project, but I appreciate that my mom and dad did the best they can to help us, grow in that project and situation where we went to school from, Freddie Wish to Fox Middle, Moreland to Weaver High, and people that lived in that project, took pride in it because it was something special. We believe that we had a lot of activities back then, jobs in the summers, which we don't have now for the youth. We had activities where we took trips from the community center. Mr. Charles Hill was the director of the center, and Bill Majors, which is he's deceased now, but I mean, we took pride in a lot of things that we did basketball outside in the summertime. We had games to play. We had handball. I mean, we had things that we could really appreciate in what we did back then. And now we don't have nothing. We're looking at a dead city.
Right.
And I believe that this city could come alive again if someone just challenged what's going on in the community. We have to understand that someone, even if it's not me, we have to tackle these issues as soon as they come on board. We don't wait 10 years later, 15 years later to try to tackle something, because you're going to have a problem.
Right.
And this is the problem we have in today, that we're not coming together with one another. We bickering and fighting against one another instead of coming together. Now, people say we're in poverty. Well, the reason why that we're in poverty, because we allow ourselves to come into poverty. God did not give us this land for us to be in poverty. This is our land. But what happened was the devil stole the land from us. Whether you want to believe it or not, things that going on, as you can see, is chaotic. We in a mixed, chaotic situation right now that is out of control. People are leading people the wrong way. Things are being mishandled at this time, and people are just doing anything they want to do, and we're not coming together accordingly to being able to move forward to destroy some of the things that we can get out the way and get back in and set with what we need to do to utilize the right tools to push things that's not supposed to be in place and get them out of the way, and let's move forward like we want to do and do things like we supposed to do. We have a plaza, Unity Plaza, that back in when I was growing up, we had Blanche's, we had a Unity drugstore, we had Roz Ruckus shop, we had Hughley's barber shop, we had certain things. Mr. Griffin, may he rest in peace. We had things, Mr. Bobby Knight, hockey. I played hockey for them. So we had a lot of tools that we can use for positive things. But now they all gone, and we have nothing to look forward for, because no one have not stepped in place to put something in action. And that's where we at right now.
All right. So basically, you're dedicated. Your dedication comes from trying to give the community something to look forward to, something positive to look forward to, I should say,
right,
and to make it a better place for the generations to come.
That's right.
Okay, definitely understood that, and that's great dedication and a great reason to be dedicated, because many people these days aren't. They just kind of feel like Hartford is what it is, and they just let it be what it is. But people like yourself and others out here in the community are working very hard to make sure that label doesn't stick and it doesn't stay that way. So
right.
It's definitely commendable that you're out here doing that type of work on a daily basis. Now I know you're still out here in the world trying to live and be yourself and grow and move past some of your issues that you've had. Like you explained in the first episode, you were in the prison system for a long time, but yet and still you find yourself having issues when it comes to parole and the Department of Corrections, the DOC. So if you want to, kind of explain, because there might be somebody out there watching who is going through these issues and may not know how to fight for themselves. So if you want to go through and explain, like if you still having issues or you still dealing with issues with parole, DOC, and feel free to let the people know how to deal with it correctly so that they don't make the same mistake twice and maybe end up going back to jail.
Right. Well, first of all, big brother, I would like to say this. Parole and DOC is one of the biggest issue in the state of Connecticut. Uh, they've been having issues for a very long time. Let me just explain this to you right now, because it's not something that I'm going against the grain, but it's got to be said for people to understand what DOC is really actually about. First of all, DOC is a correctional center that house how many people that end up in the department. Now, it's a difference between pretrial and sentence. And I tell people this all the time. First of all, I got 42 years in the system. I know the system back and forth. I know what type of stuff they do. I know when they do something right and when they do something wrong. They always got something up their sleeve. And a lot of people is not watchful of what they do. First of all, I like to explain this. When you in the system, there's a lot going on. You know, you got COs, which is called correctional officers, that's supposed to go by a policy and guideline that they do not live up to. They got people that's working in the Department of Correction that I believe shouldn't be in the Department of Correction. And I just have to tell it like it is now because of what I went through the last time I was on this podcast. And I'm just letting them people know that, you know, they have issues that they need to really, really look at, and they're not looking at their mission. Their mission is a statement as what's valued to the Department of Correction, which they are not following. I don't know if you guys been looking at the news or not, but right now they under a big investigation for a 2018 death that happened in their department, and they refused to release the video. Now, why do you think that they don't want to let the video go? Well, I believe if they let the video go, they're going to be in some trouble. It's just the bottom line. And that's how I feel that a lot of people have went through a lot of things in the Department of Correction that they shouldn't have went through, and they still going through it. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I've been doing time since I was 16 years old. I got a 5-digit number, and I got a lot of explaining to do, but I'm not going to take up a lot of time explaining. I'm just going to get right down to the nitty gritty and the facts of what DOC is doing and why you in their care. If you're a pretrial detainer and you just being accused of a crime, and this is a law, this is why I tell young brothers and even sisters that go to York Correctional. Right now, my wife is in York Correctional Institution. She being treated unfairly. A pretrial detainer is just someone being accused of a crime. Now, I want you to understand this. When you're being accused of a crime, you're just being held as a pretrial detainer. And people don't know that they have citizen rights. They still have citizen rights because you have not been sentenced or convicted by your peers. So therefore, they only holding you until they make a decision with you. But you still have rights, outside rights that pertains to your body within pretrial detainer. Now, it's a difference if you plead guilty or are you sentenced under the Department of Correction. Then now you become part of the state. Now they have some more say-so than they do as you being a pretrial detainee. Look up the law. That's all you have to do. And don't let them tell you that you don't have rights, because you do have rights as a pretrial detainer. You have more rights than you was if you were sentenced. Now, the part about when you sentence is that when you sentence, you under the state guidelines. So therefore, they have a little more say-so over you, but you still have rights where they cannot violate. Now, just like I'm telling you right now, this is a freedom of speech. This is a law. So if DOC decide to retaliate on me, then they violating one of my constitutional rights. They might well say they violating the 4th and the 5th Amendment. So a lot of times people won't challenge they missionary statement, which I'm a challenge it every time, because they treated me unfairly and they treated my wife unfairly. They try to restrict me just because I'm on parole to stop me from talking to my wife. And I've been legally married 11 years. So it's no way. And not only that, let me put this in there. I'm her conservator in probate court. What is a conservator? A conservator is the one that has the right to speak for that person or to make decisions for that person when it, excuse me for the loud noise, but has a right to make a decision for that person when that person is not competent. And they don't violated my rights, big bro, all the way around the board. And I'm fighting that right now. And this is what DOC does to people when they don't know their rights or they don't know the law. I've been studying the law when I was inside the prison walls when they was trying to do me wrong in the court system. And as I really got involved with the law and started searching things, I found out a lot of things that DOC is doing is wrongdoing. Right now, they under, like I said, they under a big investigation right now. So my last podcast with my big bro, I told you I called Washington, D.C. And I told him about DOC. And I didn't say this, but the lady said this, that they all are corrupted. And you know what? I believe that now. DOC has done a lot of stuff crooked under the map that they shouldn't even be doing. And what they right now, they also had to make arrangements to pay back some money that they was paying somebody overtime, which they shouldn't have been paying them. And they had to correct that. And if no one wouldn't have spoke up on that, they would have let that slide.
Right.
And that would have been corruption. So DOC has been corrupted for a very long time. And they don't correct things like they supposed to. You got COs getting arrested now. You got COs right now that's doing things that they're not supposed to do. And they not being held accountable for a lot of things that they do, and they get a pat on the shoulder and say, don't do it again. And if that was me and I did something out here, you better believe it, they will have the whole HPD looking for me. And I don't think that's fair of what DOC is doing. Whatever they're doing, they got a lot of correction to be doing, because for them to be the Department of Correction, they need to correct themselves before they correct anybody else. Now, far as special parole, that's what I'm dealing with now. They just the same as DOC. And I'm just going to let it be known what they did to me. Yeah, I'm under their guidelines and policies. But when you start doing certain things under the guidelines and policies to slip through the crack and think you could get away with it, I'm going to challenge you. And I'm going to challenge you right now, because I'm letting you know I'm taking you to court. And this is a freedom of speech, because when you came to me incorrect. And what happened was, now you made me take 2 evaluations for nothing, trying to say that I'm crazy because I'm running for city council. And everybody know that. I announced it, that I'm being in the race when 2027 come for voting. Put me in the vote, because I'm going to be the one that helped change the city of Hartford. I can't do it by myself, but if I get the right support and I get in there, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. And I know a lot of times people hear this all the time. Oh yeah, they always say they're going to do this when they get in there. Then when they get in there, they forget all about the people. But let me tell you something. I grew up with my people. So I'm going to make a change for my people. This is how it's going to stand. Whatever city council that's in there now, I don't know what they're doing for the city of Hartford so far, but what I see, they's not doing nothing. Special parole has really done a bad job, and I'm not saying this to disrespect you, it's just the truth. And you made me do something that I shouldn't have did, as far as taking mental health evaluations, because I'm running for city council. I have my own ministry. I'm a pastor, a valid pastor, ministry license, went to college for 2.5 years. Right now, I have Trinity Hill as my congregation. I'm doing a big Bible course there. How you think I got in there? I got in there through God. God opened the door for me. I'm going down to Centerbrook Connecticut, doing church service on Sundays. Who you think let me in the door? God did. He opened the door. I also got my program, which I've been had, Tapping the Violence Youth Program, since 2008. And when I was in a halfway house in 2014, I went into Weaver High School and talked to every student that has a track record with Weaver. I got them back in school. I got them back into basketball. I talked to the coaches. I talked to the principal. I did 2 talent shows there. One of them was called Hartford Got Talent. I didn't need no police to do what I did. I had security. We had no fight, no arguments. Everybody enjoyed a good time. This is what Tapping the Violence Youth Program did. And we continue to do that. We continue to strive for the youth. We continue to go out to the community to get youth. Parole mad about that? Why would you be mad about something that a person on parole doing the right thing, and you're not even considering of saying this person has achieved a lot? Well, let me tell you, you did something that you shouldn't have did to me. You made me take 2 mental health evaluations because the simple fact I'm doing the right thing. Never gave you a dirty urine, a none interaction with you, and tried not to interact with you in the wrong way. And I think that they need to look at their guidelines a little bit more better, big bro. I think that special parole need to really utilize the tools that they was trained to do the right way instead of going after people in the wrong way. Now I'm gonna tell you a little something about parole, regular parole and special parole. Regular parole, and I'm gonna fight for this. Regular parole comes from DOC, big brother. And I'm gonna explain why. When you go before a parole board, they could make a decision to shut you down and make you stay in and do your time, or they could parole you to your spouse or to a suitable housing, or they could replace you in a halfway house, in which they usually do whatever your addiction is. They will put you in an addiction program, inpatient or outpatient.
Okay.
And that comes from DOC.
Right.
DOC has their own parole board where you go in front of them. If you violate parole, you will go back in front of the revocation hearing, they call it.
Right.
And they would decide whether or not they want to grant you a parole again, or they would deny you and say discharge.
Okay.
Okay. Now, special parole, people do not realize this. And you have to look at the law, and you have to look at their guidelines. I'm on special parole. Special parole is mandated by the court system. Okay? Not DOC. It's a separate thing that they do. When you get sentenced to 2.5 years, anything from a 2 in a day or over, you are special parole. If the judge say, I'm hereby giving you 2 in a day, a sentence to Department of Corrections. Now you do that 2 in a day, but the court would say, I hereby give you special parole. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it may be. That special parole has came from the court, not DOC.
Right.
And that's why the court system need to have a special session, a special judge, a special prosecutor, and a special lawyer that will help the client when it comes to violations. The violations should come from the court, not from parole.
Okay.
So the parole, special parole, when there's a violation involved, what should happen is they should take it to the court.
Right.
And allow the court to make a decision whether he's in violation or not.
Gotcha.
So that's what special parole should be set up for, not where DOC has any control over special parole. And the parole officer shouldn't even make that decision on special parole. What they should do is write up a summary and send it to the court and let the court make the decision whether that person is in violation or not. But they don't do it that way.
Okay.
So parole need to really look at the guidelines. And if I be in the seat, I would definitely be speaking to the senators again about this. And I already explained to them what they're doing. So I'm again, no offense, DOC, no offense, special parole. But if you come after me because of this podcast, then it's retaliation and you violating my rights of freedom of speech. And if you put me back in jail, Big Brother will continue on how you violated my rights.
Right, exactly. So, just so you guys know, like he just said, man, if you get locked up or you on that path, do your homework, learn the law. Even if you're a law-abiding citizen, it's still good that you know the law, that you know what's going on, so that you can't be taken advantage of in certain situations. So the last time we spoke, Pastor Floyd, there was an event going on, All Hands on Deck Part 3. And that event was successful. Are there any current events that you have going on, or anything in the works in the future that you have going on at this point in time you'd like to tell the community?
Well, I always come with something, Big Bro. Right now, we the last event, like he said, All Hands on Deck Part 3 was successful. We had our speakers; they were phenomenal. We thank everybody that was involved. Howard K. Hill, the director of the funeral home, he really came and did a phenomenal speech, and he did donate some money to us to help get the food that we needed to feed the people. That's what we're about. And every time I do something, I always have something to eat, because we feel that the people need to eat. When Jesus fed the 5,000, he told his disciples to line them up. And when you feed somebody and you talking spiritually and you trying to encourage someone, you got to give them something for the stomach too.
Right.
And that's what I always try to do. And through my spare time of helping people, if I can give them a helping hand of buying them something from Tom's or a Chinese restaurant, or a slice of pizza, I'm willing to do that. Money is not the problem, and we just want to be able to help someone and encourage someone through, they could be going through hard times. I know what hard times and difficult times is all about. I've been through it. But God blessed me. So I like blessing others, and sharing the blessings of what God gave me, and I just want to say this, I really thank you people for coming out and support me every time, I have an event. We don't have nothing right now about to take place, because we're trying to really deal with the Spring Grove Cemetery and some other issues that's going on in the community. My next issue is the potholes. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the city know that they're responsible for this. And they trying to say that they're not, but cars are being tore up, because of the potholes. So we want y'all to do something about these potholes in the North End District that I'm running for. These potholes are very dangerous. They could bust your axle open and tear up your rims and stuff like that, and your tires, bust a hole in your tires. And it got to come out of our pocket, and which it shouldn't come out of our pocket.
Right. And
the city should be able to be responsible for it, because you should have did something about this a long time ago, like you was, and then you stopped. Instead of resolving an issue, it's starting to be a more major issue in this matter. And you got to take hands on deck, like I do. I make sure that if I get a situation that all hands on deck, that's what it means. We try to do whatever we need to do to help our community. It's been a long time for the city of Hartford to be right, and it's time to get it right. And I'm going to do everything I can. As me running for city council, all I'm asking for is your support. All I'm asking for is to back me, because I'm going to need the support to move forward into things that I'm doing. I'm just a one-man army, but I need people to get behind me, and so we could be able to move forward and make everything smooth as it is. Right now, there's no events right now. We're going to put something together. It's getting winter. It's getting cold. We're looking at people that's homeless right now. We're looking at people that's, out in the street, don't have no benefits, people that's addicts, that I'm trying to help, I was an alcoholic for a long time. I don't hide my addiction. Glory be to God. I thank God that I'm still clean to this day, 15 years. So, it could be done. You just got to do some footwork, man, and you got to really dig down into your walk and just say, man, listen, I'm tired. It's time for me to do something about it. That's what I had to do, and that's what I did to stay clean. It's one day at a time, man, and I can't look back. So I'm trying to do everything I can to help the next man to see that it could be done. You know, and that's where we at.
All right. So with that being said, man, this guy in the community, this brother in the community is doing a whole lot. So get behind him. He's gonna need your support, like he said. He's running for city council, so 2027. That's Floyd Johnson for city council. He's also, working with the Spring Grove Cemetery Project. So if you have a loved one or you know somebody that has a loved one involved in that cemetery, it's a great project to get behind, man. Clean it up for your loved ones. Again, still working with the youth. So if you have any youth between the ages of 12 and 20 that are involved in the streets or, making bad decisions, hey, he's a perfect guy to help them through it, man. He's been through it. He knows what happens when you make wrong decisions, but you could turn it around and, change your life. With that being said, this is the end of this podcast, but it's never the end of the work. There's a lot of work to be done in the community. Get involved, do something great. So I'm Not a Hater podcast signing off. Like, subscribe, share it to your people. Let them know these episodes are going to keep coming, man. We're going to try to change the community one episode at a time. Peace and love. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace and love.